The Section Breakout. This video covers the section breakout from the number 5 lead solo perspective. The final maneuver in the solo routine, this is your swan song, and you've got to make it count. It's not too hard, and it's smaller chunks of skills you've already mastered in previous maneuvers, so it gives you a chance to fly a clean flourish before you both rejoin the delta for the final maneuvers of the show. This one is pretty easy to fly well, and looks great. Briefing. This maneuver starts with number 6 rejoining on number 5's wing behind the crowd, flying the crowd right heading at anywhere from 800 to 1,000 feet AGL and 350 to 380 knots. At between 3.8 and 4.2 nautical miles from center point, number 5 will initiate a left 180-degree turn to roll out on center line around 3 nautical miles from center point. On the rollout, number 6 will move outboard to be line abreast of number 5. At 2 nautical miles from center point, number 5 will call smoke on, and both aircraft will ingress towards ship center. At center point, both aircraft will pitch up and initiate a quick onset climb, with number 6 climbing higher than number 5. Both pilots will then roll 90 degrees towards crowd and execute a max performance turn to the behind the crowd heading. On rollout, number 5 will then call go get 'em, at which point both pilots will rejoin the diamond for the delta roll. This is your last chance to impress the crowd as a section, and it's all about timing. Fly smooth on the way in, and precise and snappy on the hit and clear. It's hard to find a more impressive thing than seeing 2 Hornets with vapor trails streaming off their wings, flying close formation in a high G turn. So it's a great finale for the solo part of the show. Let's get after it. Walk through. Welcome back to the cockpit of the F-18C Hornet. We've just cleared from the section high alpha maneuver and done our 180-degree left-hand turn, crowd left, to behind the crowd, crowd right, at about 3 miles, looking for 380 knots, anywhere between 800 and 1,200 feet. We're setting up for the section breakout, and while the maneuver isn't actually called the section breakout, we had to give it a name, and so we named it the section breakout. But this maneuver is the solo maneuver that is used to rejoin with the diamond after the diamond completes the burner 270. The beginning of the section breakout maneuver starts with a formation left-hand banking turn to attempt to line up on showline crowd right at about 3.5 to 3 miles at 380 knots and anywhere from 250 to 500 feet. That is the goal that we are trying to hit, and it can be a challenge because your distance behind crowd is not going to be fixed, so depending on whether or not you were inboard of 2 miles or outboard of 2 miles, you're going to have to adjust the amount of pull and also the timing on when you turn. If you rolled out 2 miles behind crowd, then it's going to be fine to roll in at about 4.2 miles. If you rolled out closer to crowd, you probably want to turn in a little bit earlier, and also if you're further away from crowd, you probably also want to roll in a little earlier because you're going to be doing a wider arc around the turn. All of these are things you need to think about as you are now the section lead and Brother Leb is being welded to your hip in order to accomplish this maneuver. So we're going to be coming left here shortly and trying to descend to anywhere from 250 to 500 feet at 380 knots, rolling out on showline. So let's see how we do. Brother Leb will call, you got 2 chariot. We'll call chariot, at which point you're coming left. Coming further left, and the pull. Looking up at center point. Ease in the pull. Rolling out a little bank. Ease in more pull. And rolling out a little drive. A little more drive. Set. Alright. Let's be honest. I didn't do super great on this one. Notice that we are anywhere from like a mile to a mile and a half inboard of show line. So more on an inverted tuck overroll heading than we want, but part of flying these shows is learning how to adjust to your own mistakes. So one of the adjustments I'm going to be making here is that I'm going to be positioning us just outboard of show center to make sure we do not crowd violate here. So our crowd is going to be somewhere right along this line here, and we're going to be trying to make sure that we do not crowd violate, so we do not want to be anywhere inboard of the runway here as we cross its threshold. So we're cheating out just a tiny bit. Now we are lined up, nose level, we're at 370 knots at 520 feet, so we're going to be trying to descend just a touch to get down to 500 and accelerate to anywhere between 380 to 400 knots to accomplish this maneuver. We're at 3.7 miles. We're going to call for Brother Leb to fly line abreast of us at 3 miles. At 2 miles, we will call smoke on, and I'll talk more about the rest of the maneuver as we get there. So let's unpause and see how we do. Decide to fly relatively level. Speed's increasing. Brother Leb, go line abreast. And he will call line abreast. 2.5 miles. Speed's increasing still. Smoke on. Alright, at this point we're going to be calling our distances every half mile. These are sugar calls, but they're extremely valuable to Brother Leb to allow him to know how much time he has to set up a perfect line abreast formation so that it looks like our two jets are fully line abreast as we approach center point. Let's talk through what's going to happen at center point. At center point, we're going to call ready, hit it, and then we're going to do a full backstick yug all the way to 2 degrees. Yeah, I know, it sounds crazy. That being said, the full backstick yug all the way to 2 degrees means that we want to get the squat of the jet visible to the crowd because we're obscuring Brother Leb, who's also going to be squatting the jet, but then it's going to be a significant amount of drive to get that jet to squat down back to 2 degrees, at which point we'll call smoke off, stand by roll, and pull. And that roll and pull means we are rolling left 90 degrees, and then we are pulling hard behind the crowd, trying to bleed off speed and reducing speed if necessary, reducing power if necessary, to back ourselves down to 380 knots as we roll out behind the crowd. So it's going to be a ease in the pull, rolling out, and likely a little drive to get us back to level. At which point, both 5 and 6 would attempt to sight the diamond, calling contact when they do, at which point 5 will call go get 'em, which means that he's releasing number 6 from the section, and both number 5 and number 6 will go form up with the diamond to form the Blue Angels Delta to start the Delta roll. Now, for those of us who don't have a diamond, Brother Leb's just going to join on me, so I have to fly straight and level until he joins on me, at which point I take the position of boss, and I lead our section into a section roll. But we're not going to go over that in our tutorials, but just so you know what's happening when I roll out behind crowd. So, as we approach center point, we're calling every half mile, at which point we'll call ready, hit it, yug hard to 2 degrees, call smoke off, stand by roll, left knife edge, pull behind crowd, ease of the pull, rolling out a little drive. Let's see how we do. Smoke's on, Brother Leb is line abreast of us, 1.5 mark. 1 mile mark. Half mile mark. Ready, hit it! Smoke off, stand by, roll, and pull. Easing power. Stand by, roll. Easing the pull, rolling out. Little drive. Contact, contact, go get them! And that is the maneuver that we call the Section Breakout, and it's the final section maneuver that the solos perform in the show before they join up with the Delta to complete the rest of the show as the Delta. And now it's time for one final demonstration from that Kobolete show from a couple of months ago. Pay close attention to the smoothness of my rolls in and out of the maneuver, as well as how early I make the hit it call to compensate for internet lag to set up for the perfect hit at center point.
Solos are behind the crowd, setting up the Section Breakout.
Left.
Chariots coming left. Coming further left, and the pull. Ease and simple. Ease and more. Pull and rolling out. The Section Breakout. Little angle, a little drive. A little more drive. Go, letterburst.
Left.
Adding a little power. Smoke on. 1.5 mark. A little more drive. 1 mile mark. Easing a touch of power. Half mile mark. Ready, hit it. Smoke off. Stand by, roll. And pull. Ease the pull and rolling out, easing power. 380.
Contact.
370. Adding power, 360, state 47.
You got 2, state 50.
Chariots. Adding a little power, coming.
And that's how the Legacy Blue solos perform the Section Break, the last of the opposing solo tutorial series. We hope each video was both entertaining and informative, and if you enjoyed this series, consider liking the video and subscribing to our channel, where you can find full side-by-side show sequences and debriefs. Thank you so much for watching, and we'll see you on the flight line.